Hey guys, welcome back to Slaaap Haaapy. My name is Civilian. I'm the host of Slaaap Haaapy, and today I have an absolute zinger for you. So a couple weeks ago, very recently, I went and was invited to the headquarters of ICHPIG. I was very humbled by this opportunity, and I was even more humbled when I walked inside their headquarters. So ICHPIG, for anyone who doesn't know, is a streetwear label. They are based in Melbourne. They are owned and operated out of Melbourne, and they are 100% authentically Australian in every way, shape, and form. The guys are locals. They are essentially, when you boil it down, they're just a couple of kids who started doing this thing and just didn't stop. That's essentially what it is. They were 22 and 24-ish when they started the label, Nate and Alex. And basically, they just didn't stop, which I think is, when you look at a lot of success stories, that is the crux of it. It's like, you start this thing and you just don't stop. Like, the only way you can kind of bow out of a game is if you quit. And these guys just never quit. And their story is incredibly inspiring. So I sat down with Nate, one of the brothers, and we just chopped it up. We just had a good chat. It was really, really enlightening, really beautiful. I was blown away by their headquarters. I was blown away by their warehouse. They got a skate park in there, and they got clothes everywhere. They got staff everywhere. They got like a super inspiring kind of like head office space with lots of like art and pop culture references. Just the whole place, just walking through it was just like, man, this is so cool. These guys have built this thing from the ground up, and they are still here operating it day to day and just doing a really good job of it and doing some really cool shit. Not only are they making cool clothes, but they're also doing a lot of really cool collaborations, and they're just, they're digging into the Melbourne subcultures, especially in hip hop, and they're just doing cool shit. That's basically all I can boil it down to. So yeah, I went in there. Our paths crossed because of my conversation with Uzi a couple weeks ago, who's a big fan of them. They reached out to me. I went and had a conversation with them, Nate specifically, and I loved it. I felt so comfortable talking to him. I thought he was I just really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed sitting down with him. I thought he was a really good guy. We could have fucking talked for hours, I think, because we're both, I think we're very similar in the way that we're like looking at life at the moment. Like, just this constant need to be striving to be better, to be a better person, in yourself, but also to be a better person for the people around you. We're both very much there in our lives, and it was really, really cool, to kind of share that with him. And, we kind of talked about a lot of things. We did waffle a little bit about, this need to strive to be better. But, essentially we got to the crux of the origin story of ICHPIG, where they started, and their current cultural relevance, and the fact that they're still here, still doing it, still striving, still pushing forward. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I hope you guys do too. I'm going to link everything below as to where you can go find ICHPIG. Please go check them out. I highly endorse these guys in every aspect. Had a lot of fun doing this, and I'm so grateful to be putting this one out. This is my interview with Nate, owner and operator, part owner and operator of ICHPIG. Hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you on the next Slaaap Haaapy. Let's go. And we're live. And we're live for another episode of Slaaap Haaapy. We can do it like this all day. Hey, don't stop. Inhibitions run away. Hey, don't stop. Let a bug hit windshield. That's right, people. We're here. We're doing it. I'm doing it. And today, I'm doing it with Nate from ICHPIG. Nate, how are you?
Good, boss. What's going on?
All right, that's my little intro. I got that out of the way. What's going on? I'm here in your magnificent warehouse and working facility. And as I stated to you earlier, I was genuinely blown away by how fucking dope everything is.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, it's cool. So anyway, I've come here today to chat with Nate. He's invited me down, and I'm very grateful. And speaking of grateful, I wanted to try a little segment today. Now, I'm a big believer in gratitude as a tool, as a weapon, and it's something that I try to use daily. I have like a little gratitude journal, and I have like
Go for it. Keep going.
I have like 8 blank spaces. And every single morning, what I try to do is I sit down and I consciously direct gratitude towards certain things.
For sure.
Not necessarily the most obvious ones, like, had a really, or like the Cats won the grand final, for example. Not always obvious ones, but sometimes mundane ones. Like, for example, being grateful towards my current financial instability.
Okay.
Yeah, or
right,
like,
got it.
or like stubbing my toe, for example. And the reason I do that is because if I send gratitude towards these things, even the mundane, it reshapes how they sit in my body. And
Totally.
And
I know exactly what you're talking about. My partner and I actually talk about this concept a lot. So I'm a new dad.
Yes.
So my son's...
How new?
My son's probably almost 19 months old.
Okay. Yep.
So he's in the toddler
Still
phase,
fresh.
right?
Yep.
So you hear a lot of parents talk about, say for instance, if I talk to some of my friends or some people that I know about looking after their kids, they'll say, I have to look after my kid. So it's like a chore, it's a negative.
Yep.
But I used to do it, but then I was like, it's putting a negative on something that actually is kind of fun and kind of cool. So now I say I get to hang out with my son.
I love that.
So I'm kind of doing the same thing.
I love that. And it really, like, language is super powerful, and we get to choose how we shape our perception of things and our experience of things.
Totally.
And
emotions driven off your brain sometimes.
Yep.
Like when you look at something like that, like often if you label it in a certain way, like what we were talking about before with, like kind of humbling experiences, you can look at it as a kick in the teeth and get pretty upset by it, or you can say, this is an opportunity to learn.
Yep. All right. That's beautiful. Okay. We're setting this up really nicely. So gratitude as a tool and as a weapon, stubbing your toe, being grateful for it.
Yeah. That's a bit more abstract. I'm not sure how you get there, but
it's because you get 2 options. I can either be annoyed at it.
Totally.
Or I can just be like, do you know what? I feel pain, and that means that I feel something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
So, anyway, so I try to, I write 8 things down, and I try to make them, not, obvious, some obvious, obviously. But then, some not so obvious. And then I sit there and I kind of like, I genuinely try to, direct gratitude at them to like fill my soul up and feel good about life. And then I can carry that energy out into the world.
Totally.
So with that said, Nate, what are 3 things that you're grateful for?
3 things I'm grateful for. Well, obviously I spoke about the sun just before.
Beautiful.
I'm pretty grateful for my partner, to be honest.
Yep.
She puts up with a lot of crap from me.
Yep.
I'm not an easy guy to be around.
Yep.
So I'm pretty grateful for that. It's funny, like just on the weekend, on Sunday. So I went for a skate with one of my friends, and after I came back and I'd planned to do some gardening with my old man. Now, this isn't any just old regular gardening. I'd kind of gotten slack and let the garden go pretty overgrown. Yeah. Like I'm talking, I hadn't cut the grass for 6 months.
So we're talking Jumanji.
We're talking shoulder high weeds. Like it was a gong show. It was quite a lot of it too. So
okay.
I'd been kind of nervous about how to tackle all this because, it wasn't even point getting a whippersnipper into it. It's just, it would have effed the whippersnipper
Hacksaw.
up. Yeah. So basically what we did is we got a mattock, like a kind of a hook, tomahawk type thing, and just started digging it all out.
Yeah. Okay.
Bit by bit, pulling out with our hands and stuff.
Yeah.
And kind of halfway through, it was a nice day. I was hanging out with Dad. My partner kind of brought my son out and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was just like, wow, this is actually really sick. I'm actually really enjoying like this. It was hard work. Like,
yeah.
Cause like we were pulling out like all like stinging ivy and nettle and stuff like that. And like weeds. So like I've got pretty gnarly, weed burn in my wrist
Yep.
today, because at the start I was just wearing a t-shirt, and then I was like, oh shit, I actually need to put on a long sleeve and some pants on, because otherwise I'm going to be itchy.
You're going to cop it.
I'm going to be itchy as hell tomorrow and for the rest of the day. So it was really, really hot, and I was really, really sweaty and stuff. But like, yeah, I just kind of, like, the sun was out. My son was like just having a blast.
It was a nice little kind of like, oh, like I'm here.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this is a pretty cool family moment. Like, this
Yeah.
is the first kind of, because, you know, this is the first time my son can experience the garden whilst being able to move.
Yep.
Because like now, you know, he's just kind of started walking pretty flat out in the last 3 months or something like that.
Yep.
So yeah, it was really sick.
Yeah.
Sun was beaming and everything was nice.
And it was cool. It sounds cool that you were able to just stop in that moment and let it be what it was.
I was actually flat out enjoying it, to be honest.
Yeah,
it was actually fucking fun. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it was, like I said, it was hard work pulling out these weeds by hand and with like just a basic tool. But yeah, it was 2 hours of fun.
Yeah, fuck yeah. And to be honest, like, what else is there? Like, in life, you know, what else?
Yeah.
Like, what else is there? Like, name another thing that is like more valuable than that, than feeling like just at peace.
Yeah. It was like my partner was talking about, she brought up Orlando Bloom or whatever, and she mentioned how she just watched the latest Charlie and the Chocolate Factory or whatever, and she said how, you know, he's acting, he might have overdone it a little bit. Anyway, we got onto the subject about how he's, you know, he's a little bit, him and his partner his ex-partner have had a pretty interesting relationship.
Yeah.
You know, they're kind of in the courts and all this stuff. And
Orlando, Johnny
Depp, sorry, Johnny Depp. God, I always get those two mixed up.
Yeah, no, so do I.
So Johnny Depp. So, you know, he's kind of in the courts or whatever, and you know, they just keep going back at each other. like the
Just a little toxic.
Yeah, they're just a little toxic. You know, there's some kind of assault stuff going on, some physicality stuff. There's
some feces.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of crazy shit, right?
Yeah.
It sounds like you know the story.
Yeah.
And I was thinking to myself, man, these people have like all the money, all the things. Like, you know, everyone listening to this podcast would probably think, you know, Johnny Depp is surely killing
Like, that's a
right?
pinnacle of life.
Yeah, surely he's killing it. You know, he gets all the things, he gets all acts, but the dude's still unhappy.
Yeah,
He's still
yeah.
all that shit, all that stuff, he still doesn't have, like, you know, maybe he's happy in his relationship now or whatever, but like that relationship before was like just toxic and completely broke down, and he's still got their issues or whatever it is, right?
Yep.
And it's like, it made me kind of think again. I was just like, oh, you know, fuck, like I should be enjoying and be grateful for all this stuff, and then you kind of just start being it instead of saying should, could, and woulda or whatever. Like, that's judgment. That's you putting judgment on things.
Yeah.
You just try and be at ease and mindful about it, I guess.
Yep. And the thing is, like, if you're living a kind of life like he would be living, yeah, you do have, you know, access to women and drugs and money and all these like experiences.
Did you hear about his coke ball?
No.
So he has, apparently, Araha, my partner, was telling me that he had this huge goldfish ball full of coke.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Literally. And he would just walk past it and
Just have a little.
just a little bump. Like,
Yeah,
like,
just-
like it was a part of, like he's like,
This is part of his day.
like I'm addicted to grapes, right? So
Yeah,
every time I walk past the fridge, I open the fridge up and grab a couple of grapes.
Got to get a couple
But he's just doing it.
with the Coke. Yeah. But surely it doesn't. Surely after that point, it's like not even Coke anymore. It's just something that you do. Like the thing is, if I were to do Coke, which I don't condone any of that shit, but let's just say I did do Coke, right? It would be an experience for me because it doesn't happen frequently.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But for
Me
him,
too.
it's part of his life. So like, is it even that interesting anymore?
It's so weird.
Yeah.
It's so odd. Like, she was explaining it to me and I was just like, oh, this is pretty weird.
It's a whole new kind of like level of existence, like something that I think just for most people, it's like, what the fuck? That's not even real. It's
Yeah.
like not even real. It's detached.
Well, it's like, you know, like, how do you even afford that? Like, he's got, like,
Yeah.
it sounded like a big ass fishbowl. So, you know, like you do the math on it, it's probably what, like 10K just sitting there.
Yeah, but the thing is, once you get to that point, you don't pay for anything. Like,
Nah, true,
you know,
true.
people are trying to get close to you
True.
because of the access and
True.
the you know, so you don't actually pay for anything when you get to that point in life.
Yeah, true. Totally.
People just, the value is in being friends with Johnny Depp. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, exactly,
I
right.
sold Coke to Johnny Depp, you know. I gave him Coke.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
totally. All right, well, we've got the gratitude out of the way. Thank you for being a part of that.
No worries.
That's my first time busting out the kind of gratitude pretense on a podcast, and I want to make it. I want to make a habit of it because I want to start my podcast the way that I start my day in my life is with that gratitude and putting that like good energy in the world.
Totally.
Yeah,
It's good.
cool.
It's a good idea.
All right, now that we got that out of the way, let's get to the meat and veg, the steak and taters, okay? The main course. What is an ICHPIG?
What is ICHPIG? So, I guess we're talking about defining the name here, right?
You can define it however you like.
Yeah, I knew you were going to do that. so I guess like ICHPIG, yeah. So it is a word we made up, which is really good when you're trying to get a .com.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
You don't have to worry about that shit or any other patents or trademarks or any of that crap.
That's a good point. That's a really good point.
We literally made the word up.
Yeah.
So I guess it relates back to, when Alex and I first started, we were living in
Sorry, Alex is your brother?
I was about to say, Alex is my brother.
Yep,
so I own ICHPIG with my brother, Alex.
Okay.
We were living in Japan at the time. So I was a snowboard instructor.
Yep.
And I kind of started crocheting up these beanies.
Yep.
And I guess I was just fascinated in the process. I'm a bit of a process guy. I like getting better at things, learning about things, and then refining it. So
yep.
I just wanted to keep making beanies, but I didn't want to just keep making beanies for myself. So I started making beanies for all the instructors that were living with us. And I guess it kind of gave us the idea to, maybe we could do something with this. Maybe we could turn this into something.
Yep.
I don't know. Anyway, somehow we kind of brainstormed this idea and we were like, well, everyone kind of refers to us as pigs, or, we would, and it wasn't like we're greedy. It's like
yep.
we were just insatiable. We were relentless. Like whatever we set our one focus on, nothing got in the way.
I like that word, insatiable.
Yeah. Like,
Describes it well.
Yeah. Pigs are relentless, right?
Yeah, yeah.
They chew through everything.
Yep.
Fat, bone, whatever.
Yep.
And we were like that.
Okay.
Nothing got in our way. But instead of it kind of being one pig, which we actually have an original drawing upstairs of, which we'll probably show at some stage, we were like, let's go to ICHPIG because we were in Japan. So Ich is one in Japanese.
Right. Okay.
And that's kind of where it came from. So I guess we started pushing this kind of crochet beanie thing. And I kind of noticed how people would come up and you'd ask them, well, what colors do you want? Simple question.
Yep.
And you'd start getting all these different colorways and all these different ideas. And it was funny how it was the basis of a large portion of our business and our ideas. So then we decided to try and apply it to clothes.
Yep.
And I guess we came back to Melbourne from Japan and we were like, well, we don't really like any of the clothes we're wearing anymore. Let's just make our own clothes. And,
yep.
And use some of this colorway knowledge and, we'll put it under this label of ICHPIG.
Yep.
So we started making these jumpers for ourselves, crazy colors. And then we managed to, I guess, get onto this manufacturer. And we bought a shitload of their dead stock off him.
Yep.
This was all colorways and shit that he couldn't sell.
Yeah.
Yellows, greens, reds,
yep.
weird blues.
Okay.
There was just a lot of it.
So was he just like ambitious, or did he not understand what he was buying, or why did he have all this stuff that he couldn't get rid of? Or is that just a pretty standard thing that happens from time to time? People just have shit that they can't sell.
Yeah, because like you can't always have A, B, and C stock. Like A is obviously your best selling stock.
Yep.
A lot of people then have B, and then some businesses have C. Well, most businesses at some stage have a C.
Yep.
And C is product you can't move, or it just sits there. And that's often what a stock take sale is. It's C
yep.
product. It's stuff that people can't sell and they just want their money back.
Yeah, so you're just basically trying to come up with ways to get it off your hands.
Yeah, because basically the way, not to get kind of technical and boring here, but there's probably some...
Get boring, let's go.
There's some entrepreneurs on here, I assume,
I'd
watching
imagine.
this.
Yeah, I hope so.
So the way, financials work or tax works is when you buy stock or cost of goods, it doesn't hit your profit and loss, i.e. you don't get taxed on it until you sell it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have $10,000 worth of stock, your balance sheet your profit and loss doesn't reflect that. So the tax man still thinks you've made $10,000. It's not until you sell it that it hits your profit and loss. So that's why people just say, F it, I just want any money I can back, so then they can realize the cost and say that they've made a loss.
Okay.
That's what a stock take sale is.
Oh, all right.
That's the reason for it.
I like that.
That's why people do that. So basically he just made, it was just an accumulation of a whole bunch of stuff over time, and he just needed it off his books.
And how did you get in contact with this person? Where did this person come from?
He's actually someone that we so he used to have like a kind of a retail store in Collingwood that we just used to we just used to go there all the time and shop for ourselves.
Yep.
And we kind of like some of the shapes that he was producing, but we wanted to take it and do our own thing with it.
Yep.
We wanted to kind of exaggerate certain things. So we wanted to make things taller and baggier.
Yeah, cool.
So
Is that based off of the snowboarding influence?
Totally.
Yeah.
So a lot of the colorways, the paneling ideas, and obviously the fit from snowboarding.
Yep.
We brought back into, well, originally it was kind of snow wear, but then it was like we realized, well, I don't know, at some point somehow it shifted from snow wear to kind of streetwear.
Yep.
It just kind of started blending.
Yep.
We were selling both, like to snow people, but then also streetwear people, like just people in Melbourne, because it was just friends of friends and slowly spreading and stuff.
And was so clearly not a tactical or planned kind of idea. It was just like people were liking it. They started wearing it, so it kind of evolved on its own.
Well, I mean, for me, we've been having a few people come through this space lately. Like we're trying to definitely get amongst the community much more.
Yep.
And I've been saying it, but like we didn't start this thing because we wanted to flex and say we have a clothing company. In fact, we did the very opposite. We wore balaclavas in every single interaction with our customer, whether they came to the shop. Whether they come to Mum's Garage, or whether we were selling, marketing images on Facebook.
Yeah.
We wore balaclavas because it was about the clothes selling themselves, not the faces behind it.
I fucking love that.
Yeah.
Right. There we go.
Nice.
I wanted the round of applause because that's fucking cool. All right.
Yes.
Tell me more about that.
So we were, this is 2010, right? I don't think people realize how long we've kind of been doing some of the things that are now in popular fashion and popular culture now.
Mm-hmm.
We were doing this ages ago.
Yep.
So we didn't give a fuck about the props. We didn't want anything to do with the props. It was about making product that we wanted to wear.
Yeah.
And as we kind of progressed, we realized that, people would just frankly come up to us and ask us,
yeah,
what is that you're wearing? What is that?
Yeah.
It's this big, tall, color blocked hoodie that, you've never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
It's got this weird pig face on the bottom and it's got this weird name. And so like it just started from there. When we first started, it's all about rings, like if Alex and I are the purest demographic, the customer of ICHPIG, because obviously we created it, we're the pure, we're the pure ingredient.
We're at the center. Yeah.
We're at the center. Then, your first group of friends is next, and the next circle, their friends, and then their friends and their friends.
Yeah.
And it just goes in rings, like it's just like an onion.
Yeah, yeah.
And it just started spreading that way. There was, because, 2010, Instagram wasn't really a thing.
No.
Like most people were still saying, it's like, people are saying with TikTok or Be Real now, well, have you got TikTok or have you got Be Real?
Yep.
Like Instagram was like that.
Mm.
So we were just selling this shit through Facebook, putting images up of stuff and whatnot. And to be honest, before that, we were literally going up the snow with garbage bags of these jumpers that we'd made.
Fuck.
And just going to
flogging them that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember one of our friends was a lifty up at Falls Creek, and he literally brought us up to the Staff of Com, and we had these garbage bags.
Yeah, right.
Full of these colorways, and we were just in people's rooms selling them.
Cash only?
Yeah, cash only.
Yeah, yeah.
The original cash only. Yeah.
Didn't have your little square reader with you? No.
Fuck no. Fuck no. And that's the thing, like back then, like, yeah, none of that shit existed.
No.
Like, not even things that people take for granted now, like Shopify wasn't a thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like,
so did you have your own website?
No, we didn't have a website until year 3 or 4.
Yeah, okay.
Because everything was like, you got to get a developer or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And like, that should cost money.
Yeah, totally.
And again, we weren't, we're not from poor families, but we're not from super, super rich families.
Yeah,
either.
yeah.
Like,
didn't have a spare 5K laying around for a web developer.
No, not really. I mean, we kind of started the business off $500 each.
Yep.
So, $500 went into the dead stock to make the first cruise, and then $500 kind of went into buying Mum's Garage off her, which was basically really, really cheap rent.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of how we started, to be honest.
So can you explain the balaclava thing to me a little bit more? Like, what was the inspiration for that, and kind of how did it actually look? Were you just always in the balaclavas, or only in photo shoots, or only when you're delivering product?
So the balaclava thing. So we were used to wearing balaclavas because we were snowboarders.
Okay. Yep.
So that's where it kind of came from. It was like, we were just like, I don't know. I guess maybe in all honesty, if I'm being brutally honest, we were we were, I don't know. It was a mixture of being self-conscious about having our faces associated to these garments, but also we actually genuinely wanted the garments to just sell themselves.
Yep.
So we were used to the balaclavas. We had knowledge of the balaclavas. And then like, yeah, we would wear them in every single piece of marketing. Like, so
Yep.
any photo of a hoodie worn by someone was in a balaclava.
Yep.
And then, yeah, literally when people rocked up to Mum's garage, we were wearing balaclavas.
I do love that, because then you instantly focus on the product.
Yeah, and we had fake names too. No one knew our names.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely no one.
Okay.
Some of our customers still today call me by those names.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
That's pretty gnarly.
Yeah, it's funny.
It's kind of, so balaclavas, fake names, dealing in cash. Are you sure you're not describing a gang?
I don't know. Maybe in some preface that kind of was the startings of a gang. I don't know.
No, it's beautiful.
But we didn't want to pretend like we were something that we're not. Like,
yeah,
you know, yeah. It was just an amalgamation of cultures for us, to be honest. You know.
Yeah, and it just felt natural.
Yeah, we just did it, and it was legit a thing. Like, you know, our first probably. I don't know, our first serious run of hoods, they all had balaclavas sewn in the back of the necks as well.
Really?
Yeah, we were doing it proper. So it was like, it was sewn in the neck and then it would just sit in your hood and you could just pull it over.
Dude, that's actually fucking dope. That sounds sick.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I always forget that we did that.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
And now I can see it in your face as well. You're like, fuck, that is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's crazy. We had a lot of crazy ideas. Like, you know, even like I'm sure some of the OGs that will watch this, you know, like we create our own sizes, like because the sizes were so different, like they were so much taller and just different to anything else out there. We're like, shit, let's rename them. They're our sizes. Let's base them around basketball positions. So small was point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, center. So everyone always got real confused because they had to learn the basketball positions to know their size.
That's pretty dope. Yeah, I would have struggled. Yeah, I would have definitely got the wrong size.
Yeah,
yeah.
We were always pretty handy with like kind of explaining it to people and whatnot.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that was another kind of crazy thing. So then on the outside at the first early customs, we would have your size kind of sewn on the outside, like was it like that kind of paying homage to those basketball jerseys.
Yeah,
that
amazing.
The little badge down the bottom.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's a bit of a sneak peek into the origin story. Where does the growth begin? Where does it go from, like, you know, you and your brother kicking about doing something that you think is cool and that you believe in? Where does it go from that to like, actually we're starting a business, like this is something legit?
Yeah, okay, so we always thought about it like it was a legit thing.
Okay.
We always treated it like it's that whole, I guess, like if you think it's real and you make sure it is real, then it kind of becomes real.
Yep.
I don't know.
It's self-fulfilling. Like if you you put the attention and you give it the respect it deserves, then it kind of becomes that.
Totally. That's and it's like anything with us, you know, that kind of relentlessness and it's like, you know, like when you're trying to land a skate trick.
Yep.
Every attempt you go for, you think it's the one.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
You think it's like, yeah, you're probably nowhere near it.
Yeah.
And you're probably 150 attempts in.
Yeah.
But you still think the next one's the one.
Yeah.
You're still saying to yourself, oh, the next one's the one.
And I suppose if you were to rock around going, oh, we're just have like, it's not really that serious, or like if you act like that, then people are going to believe that. People are going to see that. People are going to be like,
especially when you're asking people to exchange their hard earns.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, we're making this stuff custom. Like we're asking for 150, 180 bucks back in 2010.
Yeah.
Like they weren't cheap.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we put a shitload of hours into them.
Yeah.
So yeah, it kind of, I guess it started growing and getting more serious. And I mean, how that actually happened was maybe surprising, but I mean, at the same time, I kind of felt like it always was going to happen. I don't know. It's kind of contradictory.
Yep.
Like you kind of pinch yourself that it has happened, but at the same time, I knew it was going to happen.
Yeah, you were setting yourself up for it.
Yeah, I tried to give it everything I could.
Yeah.
We both did. Like we missed out on a lot of time with our friends and whatever and doing fun shit at the age of 20 something just to, oh, hey Max.
Hey Maxie.
To do something that, you know, we were kind of, because there's two ways of building something, right?
Yep.
There's either money or time.
Yep.
We were very time rich. We were very money poor.
Mm-hmm.
So we threw time at it.
Yep.
And that was our currency for building it.
Yeah.
And it just kind of grew. And then I guess by about year, it wasn't looking like a proper. And when you say business, I mean, when I define the word as business, I mean like, you know, it's turning a profit.
Yep.
You know, like you're paying yourself. You know,
Yeah,
that's you know
that's
what I mean.
fair. Yep.
Because, you know, I think for me the definitions are if it doesn't pay you, it's a hobby.
Yep.
If it's paying you, it's a business.
Yep.
Not to put a financial goal on it.
No, I think you got to draw a line somewhere.
Yeah, for the purpose of this pod, that's probably how I would define it.
Yep.
So, I mean, you would say we didn't have a business until maybe year 4, year 5, maybe even 6.
Yep.
Because in the first 2 years, we were making money, but we were pouring it back into the business at the same time, and not really. We were kind of dodging the whole pay yourself thing.
Okay.
Were
you guys working other jobs to sustain this?
Nah.
Nah.
I don't know how we were doing it.
Yeah.
I can't even think. I mean, yeah, Alex wasn't working anything, and I kind of had an industry-based learning gig through the university that I was at doing my honors.
Mm-hmm.
But that only probably that was probably, I don't know. I can't remember. It definitely wasn't for the whole part of the business. The first part of the business, though, like I reckon I held down that job maybe till 12-month mark. Maybe, I don't know. I can't remember, but I do remember having a chat with the general manager there. And he was like, "Nath, you should go do this ICHPIG thing full time."
Yeah, okay.
And that was it. And I haven't had a job since.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
And that was
about 12 months in.
12 months in, so I haven't had a job for 11 years.
Yeah, cool.
And so we were super frugal. Like we'd do some pretty gnarly stuff. Like,
yeah.
Pretty gnarly.
Lots of mee goreng.
Yeah, and just you know, stingy stuff.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Especially because we'd still go to the snow quite a lot.
Yeah.
And you just do things like, I mean, my partner hates this story, but you know, you'd wait by the bin, right?
Yeah.
In the restaurant.
Yeah.
And people would come up with uneaten food and you pretend to be the busboy. And so you just say, "Oh, are you done with that?" And they say, "Yeah." So shocked, and you just walk off and eat it.
Fucking oath. I love that.
You can eat like
a lot of food.
A lot of food, man.
Food.
I learnt that tactic in Canada when I went for the first time as a snowboard instructor. I went to Vancouver, and I got there a little bit too early, and I was a bit broke. Like the mountain hadn't quite opened up yet, so I didn't really have any instructor money coming through. So yeah, I just go to the restaurant and hang out.
Yeah.
And wait for the pizza to get kind of turfed at the end of the night.
I love it.
And
well, you knew what you wanted.
Well, I just need food.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple, right?
Yeah, you get your food, but then you go back to the thing that you really want, which is to snowboard or make clothes.
Totally. Like every penny we made, like, you know, I remember as we sold a couple of hoods, we bought an overlocker so that it would improve the quality of the hoods and it improved what we were capable of doing.
Yep.
And then, you know, we earned a bit more money, and then we spent some money on digitizing one of the logos so we could embroider. And then we spent some money on getting screens made for screen printing. And, you know, you just kept reinvesting.
Yep.
Because, and the other thing is like, back then, again, it's not like now. Like everyone kind of has the basics, or the basics are so accessible. Like every day, our Instagram gets hit up by another offshore manufacturer.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. It's insane. The connectivity that Instagram allows you to have.
Mm-hmm.
But none of that existed back then.
Yeah, totally.
Like there was just no one doing what we were doing. Like, I don't know. I don't know how else to explain it. We just literally had to learn it all ourselves.
Yeah.
And that cost a lot of time.
Yep.
And then money
to
to kind of try and execute it.
Yep. Yeah. I was having this I mean, I've been having that exact thought a lot lately. Is like, because I try to think a lot about the idea of like, if money was not a thing, what would I be doing with my time? And I like to think that pretty much exactly where I am right now is it. Like,
That's good.
yeah, making podcasts, creating content, talking to cool people, and then making music. That's pretty much what my life is right now. And yeah, there's no money anywhere, but I'm happy with where I'm at. So I think just
And that comes back to what we were saying at the start. It's like, Johnny Depp has everything in the world, but I mean,
still tortured.
yeah, I mean, I don't want to speak for the guy, but like, from outside looking in.
We'll have to get him on the pod.
Yeah. We'll just
I'll ask him.
Call out to his agent maybe or something like that.
I'll
but
ask
yeah,
him.
I mean, like, yeah, that guy literally has everything, I assume.
Totally. Yeah.
But like, I mean, at times you would say maybe he's not happy.
Yeah, I would agree. Yep.
Yeah, because I mean, it's like, people try and define being rich or whatever or happy. Like, my definition of rich is having more money than you know what to spend on.
Yeah, totally.
So, if you have a very simple life, then you can be rich pretty quick.
Well, that's it. Especially if you keep your expectations low, like you don't increase your expectations with the amount of money that you make.
Yeah, or you rather than putting a connotation like low on it, you keep your expectations realistic.
Realistic. Okay, that's a better word.
Or like reasonable or within your means or whatever.
Totally.
Like if you're happy within your means, then yeah, you're rich. You're happy.
Totally. Yep.
That's kind of the definition. I think that's the grail for me.
Yep. I love that. I was going to ask you toward the end actually, and I probably still will, so I won't say it now.
No problem.
I did the little mental arithmetic.
note.
Yeah, I'm like, da-da-da-da. Okay,
Yeah.
we're good.
Yeah, gotcha.
But yeah, no, that's so success equals results minus expectation.
Yeah.
And if you are if you're not changing your expectation too much, you're like happy with what you have,
Yeah.
then you're always going to be successful.
Yeah, you are. The challenge is learning how to not look sideways and over the fence.
Yeah.
That's a hard one.
Yeah.
And I think as a human race now, we all struggle with that.
Fucking oath.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I struggle with it on the weekend just before. Like,
Yeah.
it's hard not to look over the fence.
Do you feel comfortable talking about that?
Sure, why not?
Yeah. What was it?
Just looking at other things, friends, other brands, other people, like opportunities that come your way.
Yeah.
It's hard not to look over the fence sometimes. And you're like, but my partner's always pretty, she's pretty blunt with me and she's pretty honest with me about, everyone's path is exactly that. It's their path.
Yeah.
Not everyone gets to have the same path. That's just the way it is. Like your path is your path and your journey is your journey. All you can do is control that. But, looking over the fence, what does that get you? It's all very well and good to say in theory, though. I totally like when you're in an insecure moment, you have a couple of things pile up. And,
Yeah.
For me personally at the moment, having a young son and being a little bit energy poor and a bit sleep deprived and a couple of things go wrong or a couple of things don't work out here and you have a bit of an argument with your partner or something about something because of all these things, it's like it's really easy to pile it all on.
Yep.
Because you see a couple of things on Instagram, you're like, oh fuck.
Yep.
I'm not doing it. I'm not killing it. Blah blah blah. And then the crocodiles. I always talk about it. Because like I've had troubles in my life or whatever, and I've had psychology quite a lot.
Yep.
And one of the psychologists I've seen along the way, she used to describe, like, don't jump in the river with the crocodiles because the crocodiles are your insecurities or whatever. If you just kind of don't acknowledge them or don't give them the fuel that they need, they'll just stay on the riverbanks and you can float down the river no problem.
Totally.
But as soon as you start looking at them and freaking out about them and worrying about them, they'll get in there with you and down you go.
Game over.
Yeah.
Lose a couple limbs.
Yeah. The death roll.
Dude, I saw a death roll. I follow a couple channels pages on Instagram that are like nature is mental and
yeah,
they just got crazy footage of like animals just doing wild shit. And one of the ones that I saw was a crocodile doing a death roll and it had like a antelope's head in its mouth and it rolled its head it just turned it into a twisty.
Yeah.
Like its fucking whole body just like snapped and contorted as it done this death roll.
So much power.
It was terrifying. Yeah. It turned this fucking maybe like 150 kilo antelope or whatever into like a little twisty.
Yeah.
Like it was nothing.
And that thing's in the water as well, doing that, right? Like, think how much power it must have to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Just so much torque.
Yeah. What you said a second ago about the comparison, you know, like comparing yourself and stuff like that. I don't think, especially given the advent of or the advent of certain technologies, Instagram, stuff like that. I don't think we're ever going to escape it. And I think it's pretty human nature, even, you know, throughout time, is to look over the fence and go, oh,
totally.
How green is their grass, or how nice is their fence? I think it's pretty normal as far as like human behavior goes. But our job is not to ignore it. Our job is to just let it pass over us, as you said with the crocodiles. Like, acknowledge that it's there. Like, yeah, that feeling did come up, but don't like fall in love with that feeling.
Well, and the goal is just not to judge it. You don't
not to judge it. That's the perfect way.
You don't put a connotation on it. You say, oh, I'm doing crap, or I'm feeling this. I'm shit. You know, like it's like you just notice it. Like, yeah, it's like you're never gonna stop. Like, you're never gonna stop feeling stuff.
Yep.
Like, that's just never gonna happen. Like, it just doesn't work like that. Because, you know, we're human beings. You know, there's always stuff that kind of influences us one way or another, right?
Yeah.
So it's like you just got to kind of, it's like if you look over the fence and you feel a little bit off about it, just check in with yourself and put a connotation on it, and, you know, just notice it.
Because then you're dying two deaths. You get that feeling, you get the actual feeling of like, oh, I'm not good enough. And then you get the judging of yourself for the feeling of not feeling good enough.
Totally.
So if you just let that, all right, the first one is, all right, I feel like I'm not good enough, but that's okay.
It's okay. It's okay to not feel good enough.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's like, you know, like I go through it myself. Like, you feel like people above me that I aspire to be, they don't feel these feelings. But it comes back to the Johnny Depp thing where they clearly do.
Yeah.
They're clearly going through their own shit, right?
Because we're all fucking human. Doesn't matter like where we're at, what we got. We all are human.
Yeah, we are. But again, in the heat of the moment, in the context, it's really hard to be self-aware. I think that is the starting point of any change, is self-awareness.
Mm-hmm.
You have to, if you want to change something, well, you have to be aware, not only post or pre of the moment happening that you're doing it, but you also have to be aware in the moment. That's the hardest thing, is catching yourself in the moment doing it.
Yeah.
Because it's like that's how you change it. You go, oh shit. Like, I notice with myself, like, there's heaps of aspects of myself that I'm trying to change and work on for various reasons, you know, whether it be my son or myself or my partner, whatever, right? Because everyone has their shit, right?
Yep.
So the thing is like, you kind of do it, and you're like for a few weeks I'll notice, oh, I just did it then. 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 And then one time you're about to do it, and you go, oh fuck, I'm about to do it. And then you catch yourself.
Love that.
And then you stop.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I've caught myself now.
And that's honestly, that's all you can ask for, because that's learning, that's growing, that's growth.
Yeah. People sometimes get that misconstrued, where it's, you know, having a massive factory, or, you know, having $1 million in your account, or having 1 million followers on Instagram. That's not growth.
No.
It's just not reality for everyone. Either. Like, it's growth is little micro 1%.
The things that you don't see, the things that you can't put in an Instagram reel, or
or you don't get 1,000 likes for, or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like, that's what we've done. I was saying to someone the other day, it's like we've gotten 1% better over 12 years, like 60 hours a week.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
There's a lot of 1%.
I love that.
And that's how you. People think it's like this home run thing, you know?
Yes. Yeah.
You know, everyone's going for the home run swing. Everyone thinks they're the home run derby king, you know, or queen, or whatever. It's just not like that.
No.
You got to build. build. And the thing I often say is as quick as they come up, they'll just fall down just as quick.
Yep.
Longevity is truly the hardest thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I feel like.
Well, having the perspective to know that, like, actually, if I just build it over a long period of time, it'll stand the test of time.
Yeah, but I mean, that's a really hard concept for us as a society now to grasp.
It's impossible for most people. Like, to think that far ahead, you know, to go to have the awareness.
Yeah, because everything's instant now.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, that's TikTok's playing on that instant culture.
Yeah.
Like, you know, people struggle to hold their attentions for more than 5 seconds now. You know, there's people that are not going to listen to this podcast because they're going to see how long it is and they're going to say, nah.
Yeah. They'll wait for me to put the little highlight on Reels or TikTok. And
yeah, people want the highlights. Yeah. They don't realize that the highlights are just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
And not everyone's guaranteed the highlights.
Yeah. Do you know Gary Vee?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you listen to a lot of his stuff or?
A little bit from time to time, but like, I must admit when I listen to him, he makes me just feel like shit. So I just don't, I feel like he just makes me feel like I'm not doing it. So I just leave it.
I have phases with Gary Vee. Like I'll have moments where I'll like take a bunch of his stuff in and I'll get really deep with him, and then I'll have times where I'm like, I just need to like I'll delete the podcast out of my app, and then I'll re-download it every now and then. Yeah, but he was just talking a lot about this particular thing yesterday, just the slow build and just having the awareness and just being okay with looking aiming further down the track, not needing it right now. Yeah.
It's a really hard concept though.
Yeah.
Like, again, we're so impatient. Like, I'm impatient as shit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm famous for it.
Do you feel like you've because to build a business, to be in a business for 12 years and to still be building and learning and growing and wanting to succeed, like I would say that is it. Like you've got there. You are there. You know.
It's so funny, this concept. People, like, again, you know, like people have been coming through here quite a lot and they're just like in awe, you know, like they're just like, fuck, you got it.
Yeah.
But it's so funny, that prism of context, you know, like.
Yeah.
You could be looking at something that's black and you think it's black, but that person's looking at it and they think it's white.
Yeah.
And because it's their prism, that's what they see, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, you come in here and you say, oh my God, like this place is immaculate.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, oh, I don't like how that bin's there, or this stock's messy over there, or this is not quite right, or blah, 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 right?
Yeah.
Or the skate park could be better or bigger, or blah, 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 blah. On and on and you go, right? But it's like, it's that intersection. For me, it's the intersection between progress and content.
Yep.
That's a really hard point to navigate because if you get content, you just sit on your laurels and you kind of, you know, you get whatever, right? Like you're just like, you don't keep pushing. But if you're always pushing, it means nothing's ever good enough.
Totally.
So it's really challenging. I really struggle with it.
Yeah.
Because I'm a pretty go person. Like I just keep looking forwards. But sometimes you do need to take a step and just be stoked.
I mean, the moment that you had in the backyard the other day.
Yeah, I was thinking that just then as I said it, you know, like that moment I had in the backyard was sick.
Yeah, look, to reach the heights of success that, you know, many of us aspire to, you do need to be go. But I think over time, if you can learn to have just some moments where you do stop and look around and smell the roses, like it's okay. It's okay to just have a few of them. You don't have to be every day waking up going, oh fuck, how good is this? But actually not doing anything.
No one likes that person that you run into that just says, you know, how fucking amazing is today? Like, look at the birds. Oh my God, we're so blessed.
Yeah.
And they're just hyper over the top.
Yeah.
No one likes to be that person. No one likes interacting with that person because you just feel like, what the fuck?
But also no one likes the fucking, you know, what Gary Vee was a couple of years ago where it's like work, like that crazy kind of toxic like hustle culture.
Totally.
You don't like that either. So yeah, finding a nice little balance where you're like head down, bum up, but every now and then you do get to look around and go, man, I'm all right.
Yeah. Yeah, like I guess, you know, this is a moment of I'm all right now. Like, you know, like me kind of spending time with you right now is not going to run this business into the ground. Like it's going to keep going and it's going to be okay. You know, the staff answering the door.
Yeah.
You know, like we've got a nice space. I'm going to have a skate with some customers later today.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
You know, I got to send one of our skaters to Mackay over the weekend.
Amazing.
You know, he did really well, and one of our other skaters did really, really well. You know, like, yeah, it's good. That's good. You just got, it's just a challenge.
Yeah.
My brain is, you know, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that are the same. That it's just at odds with itself.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that constant searching and striving to just, as you said, 1%. Like, I don't think anyone is ever going to get to that point of enlightenment where we have it all figured out.
Nah, because I was thinking about that. It's like, man, I just don't want to come across as like depressive and some kind of, I don't know, down doopsy kind of person. It's because like I'm still searching for it as well.
Yeah, I think it just shows like, for me personally, the way I'm analyzing it is it just shows that you're striving to be better.
Yeah, and my thing is like, I guess, yeah, I'm striving to be better, and people think that's, I don't know, maybe admirable or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm definitely striving to be better, but I am trying to be consciously aware that striving for greatness means that you're working on weaknesses. And weaknesses is a critique. It's a judgment, right?
Has to be.
When it's like the gym, you know, you don't go to the gym and keep working on your arms.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if you're, you know, doing your bench press or whatever and you can't quite get it to the top.
Yeah.
You go work on your triceps because your triceps are weak, right?
Yeah.
So you then keep working on that, getting it better. But at the same time, it's like, at what point are you happy with it? Are you cool with it? Are you, you know, when's that point? And that's the thing is like striving 24/7 all the time is sick, but it's also a pretty good way to get yourself flat.
Yeah, or go crazy.
Yeah, because it comes back to that whole being content and happy with things. But yeah, that's always been my biggest struggle is, striving too much.
Yeah.
Not striving too much because you sound like an accomplishment wanker or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, like.
But I think it's something that does come with time as well. Like it comes with time, experience, and just maturity.
Yeah, I think so. I'm like I said, I'm still going for it.
Yeah.
That's for sure. But yeah, I am trying to get a bit more, definitely for my son. My son has definitely made me kind of appreciate it. You know, like, yeah, it's happened in other aspects of my life. Like for instance, with skating, right?
Yeah.
So through COVID, I got the best at skating I've ever been in my life.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Like as a 32, 33-year-old man, I was doing shit I never thought was possible.
Okay.
I was getting all kinds of props from my friends.
What kind of stuff?
Oh, just
I don't know skateboarding terms, so you're gonna have to.
Just little things like learning certain tricks and certain movements, like, you know, learning how to flip into something.
Okay.
You know, like kick flip into a trick.
Yep.
And then like I never thought I'd do that ever. Like some of the things that I was doing and can do now, I just didn't think were possible for me.
Yeah.
You know, like I'd kind of given up on that. And so I got a little bit progression hoary. which is a little bit of a red flag that I always try and watch with myself.
Yeah, okay.
So I started chasing these tricks, and these tricks started getting really hard for me, like really, really hard. And
yep.
with skating, you know, like learning new tricks equals pain because you fall over, right?
Yeah,
especially because I'm pretty clumsy. So I just kept chasing and chasing and chasing and chasing. And I got to this stage where I was just like, oh my God, some of these things that I'm trying and thinking about doing are pretty fucking wild for me. And then my son came along, and I for the first 6 months or so, I got really kind of anxious. I was like, shit, I'm going to lose all this stuff that I've learned, all this stuff. And I kept trying to force it, keep managing, you know, like being a dad and all these things, my partner, the business, but then just trying to skate at this crazy level that I was skating at through COVID, getting better, new trick. And then it just like, it came to a head, and I was just like, and the other thing that was driving me was I was filming. Filming is one of the best things, but it's one of the worst things.
Yeah.
Because it forces you to do stuff that you're not comfortable doing.
Yeah.
Which is progression, right? And progression is sick. Like, don't get me wrong, progression's sick. But what happened was like skating started becoming fucking gnarly. It started becoming a chore. It started becoming like,
You start putting pressure on yourself.
yeah, just too much pressure and stressful. And I had to go to this skate park and this skate park, and it had to be the perfect day, and it had to be no wind, no rain, no this, no that. And just like, and it just fucking exploded on me, and I just stopped skating. That was it. I just went,
Yeah.
and I just started playing basketball hard out. I just replaced it with another thing.
And now you're trying to make it to the NBA. And
Yeah. You know, now I'm playing. I was playing all this ball, and I just kept doing it to myself. And then I came back to skating just recently, and I was like, oh, just be happy. And now I'm okay with it now.
Yeah,
It's
cool.
like I'm trying to learn, like, you know, listen to my body. Like, if my body's fucking sore, I don't keep breaking myself, like just going for broke and getting bit off, you know. And it's been a cool experience, kind of enjoying things again.
It's the pendulum of life, right? Like, you know, extremes, like nothing, or like when you're kind of like going too hard, it like kind of brings you back to center. You
Totally.
Especially with the kind of personality that you would have. Yeah, you would get like all the way out here, like, oh, I'm about to go fucking pro. And then life just has to go, it's right, just come back here.
Yeah.
You're good in the middle. Like it's
Yeah.
you're not going to lose anything.
It's like, yeah, it's like, I don't really, what do you, like, realistically, it's like you put all this pressure on yourself to like learn all these tricks or play basketball in a certain way or whatever. And after a while, you're kind of going to yourself, well, shit, what is this actually for? Why am I doing this?
Yeah.
What's driving this?
Yeah. And am I trying to go to the NBA? No.
So why am I doing this?
Yeah.
Is it anxiety? Is it fear? Is it
Am I trying to prove
progression?
something to someone?
Am I trying to prove something to myself? Like,
Yep.
what is it? And once you kind of analyze it, you know, you kind of like, that is kind of stupid. That's kind of weird that I was putting all this pressure on myself to go do all this stuff skating when, you know, like, because it comes back to that whole thing we were talking about before about, you know, like success is defined by, you know, happiness to me. And happiness is like, you know, are you happy with what you're doing?
Yeah.
Like, are you true? Like, when you land that trick for that one little bit or whatever, like, yeah, you're happy, but like the 2 hours before it, were you enjoying yourself?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Did you really want to do that?
Mm.
Did you really, like, was it the juice worth the squeeze? Like, don't get me wrong, sometimes it's worth it, but sometimes it's just like, fuck, over and over and over and over and over and over again. Like,
Yeah.
nah, peace.
Nah.
I'm done.
Nah.
Nah, that's not worth it. I don't know. That's just me.
No, I absolutely hear you. I'm going through a kind of a similar thing at the moment with martial arts.
Yeah.
Or have been in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Specifically boxing right now.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, pushing myself, trying to get to like heaps of classes. And then there's that realization that, you know, I'm not trying to fucking make it to the UFC, and that it's okay to just enjoy it for what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. That's the idea.
I think we've both firmly touched on that idea that, you know, it is okay just to be in it and not be striving for a goal or like an outcome, just to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Some things in life you can just enjoy for what they are. Like clearly when you're running a business and you got staff and like you got, you know, all this going on, you have to be pushing and like striving to be better.
But you have to also enjoy it, because there's a lot of stuff you have to do that if you don't get enjoyment out of it or you don't like doing it, you won't do it.
Yeah, totally.
It's not all glitz and glamour.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that you got to do that maybe you're not enjoying it like, you know, like it's the best thing in the world.
You're not mega thrilled.
Nah.
Yeah.
Like doing payroll is not.
Yeah.
It's not the most amazing thing going around, but I kind of get a little bit of satisfaction out of doing it correctly and knowing all the different things.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
You know, I know about that stuff now.
Yeah, yeah.
Blah blah blah.
Learning all the nuts and bolts of operating.
Yeah, because you know, like designing clothes and producing those clothes is two aspects of a very large mechanism.
Totally, and you know, because walking through this, you know, whole establishment, you just see there are so many different things that are not just designing clothes. There's like, you know, managing people,
stock control.
Like the list would be endless.
Yeah, you know, logistics, warehousing, you know, little things like I had to I had to read the lease on this place.
Yep.
You know, so talking with lawyers and
Yeah.
like I said, knowing payroll, knowing HR, knowing how to manage people, dealing with people, talking to people correctly, you know, like, you know, being, you know, for lack of a better word, you know, PC. Learning about what you can and can't say and, you know, what's respectful to others and what's not respectful to others. And, you know, then there's, you know, finance and accounting and bookkeeping. And for us, like, the thing that makes us so unique is that literally everything from, you know, if you've got the point of, you know, setting financial targets right down to getting the garment out of here sent to the customer, we do everything in between. Every single aspect of this business we do. You know, and there's, it's endless. I could talk about it for ages. And we've learned all those processes ourselves, not through YouTube, through doing. Because, you know, YouTube wasn't really a thing
when you started. Yeah,
it's like, you know, like
might have been like real early, but
like you could YouTube anything now.
You
can YouTube some really specific things now. It's crazy. But like back then, like say for instance when we were sewing in Mum's garage, like if you snapped the needle on the overlocker, there was no answer for that.
So can you explain what's an overlocker?
So an overlocker. So if anyone turns their garment inside out, generally the two side seams, so I mean the seam here, so there, and on the other side, that'll be done by an overlocker. So overlocker is like your basic super sturdy straight stitch.
Okay.
So an overlocker produces that stitch.
Okay.
So what it does is you have two bits of fabric, you put them together, you run it through the overlocker, it has like a blade and it chops it perfectly, so it's a straight line. So that's why when you turn it inside out, it's a straight line, and it has a double straight stitch and then a cross stitch as well as a safety, so that it makes it super strong.
Okay.
So it's much more complicated than your average sewing machine, which is just one needle and does like one stitch or cross stitch or whatever, right?
Yeah, cool. How big is this thing?
So basically what happens is it's like this, just think of like, how would I describe it? It's like the size of a normal sewing machine, but it's attached to a table which has like a hole in it because it cuts all the fabric off to make the straight line. So that has like a funnel. It goes down the funnel into a bin. But then also there's this, because it's so powerful, it has to go through such thick fabric, it generally will have this big motor attached to it as well.
Okay.
So it's like a heavy ass table.
Okay, cool.
Really, really heavy. It's kind of like probably be, I'm going to say 80 to 100 kilos.
Okay.
Maybe 80 kilos.
So you're not just lugging that around?
No, because that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to think about, can I lift it by myself? Probably not. So then it's probably about, 80 kilos.
Yeah, cool,
90
cool.
kilos, something like that. So yeah, it's like this big industrial machine. So yeah, when you break something like that, like which I did constantly because I didn't know how to use it properly because I was learning on the fly, it was hours of learning. Because again, you couldn't just type into, into YouTube or Google and say, how do I fix my Orion 1985 overlocker? I've snapped the needle. That video doesn't exist.
That's a very specific ask.
But you know what I mean? Like you can do things.
Can you find that now? Like if you were to type that in?
Not sure. Maybe. But you could definitely type in, I've snapped my overlocker needle. How do I fix it? Or, rethreading an overlocker. How do you do that? Like, because I assume the technology on all of them is all the same. Like it goes through the same series of eyelets to make the stitch.
Yep.
I assume it's all pretty similar. But, back then, you couldn't really do that. So it was like you had to learn by trial.
Yep.
And I've had some.
Learn by fire.
Yeah.
All right, let's go back a little bit. We were touching on the idea earlier of where the line that divides hobby and actual business.
Yep.
Where do you feel like, obviously, at what point in the journey did it go from hobby to business? Talk to me a little bit about what changed or like how you guys were feeling around that time.
So it was probably, I always thought about it as this one defined place, probably around year 5, where I was like, I noticed the bank account started growing.
Yep.
We were starting to regularly sell things. And, at the end of the day, when it was time to do the shipping, because we did the shipping ourselves, And, there wasn't all these nice fancy systems around like it is now where, all the barcodes are printed, all the labels are printed, you just stick it onto the thing, blah, 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 right?
Yep.
We're handwriting shit onto prepaid patch satchels for every order we would take.
Yeah, fuck.
So that was a lot of time.
Mm.
And that started to become, like a proper gig, That's kind of, that was kind of one of the big reasons for employing AJ.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of helped us with the store and helped us with that process. But, and so at this point we started making some money and we started paying ourselves and actually being able to afford a wage for AJ.
Mm-hmm.
But realistically, it became a business much before that when we probably signed that first lease to come to the factory in Sunshine.
Okay.
So that was the one before this. So, I guess we'd started selling quite a lot of stuff at Mum's garage. And it got to the point where we couldn't keep up with the demand. So we stopped being the sewers.
Yep.
So we would get it all prepared, get it all ready to go, with the help of one of our customers who became our first kind of volunteer employee. His name's Liam McGinley. It's pretty funny.
Okay.
So he comes, I'll tell the story very quickly, try not to get sidetracked.
Yeah.
So he comes to pick up his order one day. Of course, I'm wearing the balaclavas.
Yeah.
Comes to Mum's garage, picks it up. He goes, what did he say? He was like, oh, if you ever need any help, let me know. And I said, really? He's like, yeah. All right. What are you doing right now? He's like,
you're hired.
I'm like, grab the scissors. I'll teach you this. And I literally then and there, I started teaching him.
Yeah,
like
fuck yeah.
He stayed there with me for a couple of hours.
Yeah. And he was
me.
keen.
Yeah, he was keen.
Yeah.
He worked for free product for ages. Liam was a G. I couldn't believe it. Like, he helped us so much. Like, and he was so meticulous and pedantic about it. And he just loved garments and colorways.
And he cared. He just cared.
Yeah, he really cared.
Yeah.
He really cared. He was a really good dude. He's a really, really good dude. So he was kind of on board, but so he kind of started helping us prepare all these garments to get taken to these sewers.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess we were producing so much stuff, and it wasn't like a shitload of stuff, but it was a bit.
Yep.
Considering what we'd come from,
yep.
which was zilch. And then like our mum's dog died, and we were kind of like, it's a weird story. Like, yeah, mum's dog died, or our childhood dog died.
Yep.
And Alex and I were out the back, where the garage was, out the back of the house, digging the grave.
Oh, wow.
Digging, and it was hot, and we just kind of, I don't know what, we kind of said to each other, we just got to get out of here. It's time to kind of, I think we can, I don't know, maybe we can do this. Anyway, we started looking at places and whatnot, and we eventually signed a lease. And weirdly enough, this is one of the weirdest stories that I actually don't get to tell that much. The first factory, right? This is a trip out. The first turn off Sunshine Road was Sarah Grove, which is my mum's name.
Mm-hmm.
And the next turn is James Court, which is my dad's name.
Oh, wow.
How weird is that?
Yeah, right.
Like, and it's not even like Sarah. It was Sara, which is actually how my mum's name's spelled.
Right.
So it's like, and I remember turning up to,
serendipitous.
Yeah. It was totally like that. As lame as it sounds, I was just like, no, this is the place.
No, I love that.
And there was a manufacturer across the parking lot from us where we signed. And so, yeah, we that was a huge commitment for us.
That's cool. I'm glad you can kind of share that, because like those kinds of like moments, those like, those founding moments, those little stories, those little quirky things that are so important and so interesting and unique to us.
Yeah.
We don't get to share them with anyone but our like closer circle frequently. So
yeah, I mean, even they maybe don't even know that, to be honest.
No, that's cool.
That was one of the things I was just like, wow, this is so random. It's so weird that out of all the places, like that was where we ended up.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
So yeah, we ended up at this kind of industrial estate, and yeah, like it was basically a fridge, like it was 3 walls, no windows, cold as shit.
Yeah.
In West Footscray, just down from Tottenham Yards.
Yeah.
But, it was a massive commitment. It was $1,800 a month that we had to commit to. This is the first bit of commitment we'd ever done. Like, we owned our cars outright. We paid prepaid phones. We owned all the stock outright. Like, this was the only thing that we were on the hook for. And it was a pretty big call at the age of like, I think it was like 24 and 22.
Yeah.
So it was a pretty big call.
Massive call.
Yeah, I mean, again, looking at nothing now, it's like $1,800 a month. Like it's what is it, like 18 grand or something? It's nothing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was massive at the time. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And we just did it. So I would say that's actually the point of the business.
Yep.
I think once we had like proper overheads, I guess that's when it becomes a business.
And it's just you two at this time? Like you don't have employees yet?
Nah, it's still just me, Alex, and Liam kind of coming in twice a week, once a week to prepare the customs for the sewers. And he was still a volunteer.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't until about probably a year or so in that AJ became the first staff member.
Yep.
And we started paying him.
Yep.
Which is, thinking about it now, I don't even know how we did that. I can't even believe we did that.
Yeah.
Like, I can't believe AJ was like kind of had the confidence in us to do that because I don't know, it's pretty sketchy.
I feel like sounds like that's a bit of a common thread though. Like, you know, people saw the vision, people believed, people knew that you cared. So it made it easy for them to care as well.
Maybe. I mean, I'm honestly, I've never been in that situation, so I wouldn't know. But
yeah.
I've never asked AJ what made him kind of do that.
Take the leap.
But he did it. Like,
yeah.
I remember he kind of, because we used to do these Sneaker Freaker events down in Port Melbourne at the Globe Warehouse. And I remember one time we were kind of a little bit undermanned and a little bit understaffed and things were kind of getting a bit crazy and we were struggling with the demand of the people there. And AJ just kind of, I don't know, just started helping out. It was insane. And then from there, we basically offered him a job.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we kind of, I think we slowly transitioned from him being part-time and then eventually he ended up being full-time.
Yeah, for sure.
And now he's been an employee. I think he's coming up on 8 or 9 years.
Fuck yeah.
So it's like, that's another thing I'm going to learn about is long service leave. It's like it's getting to that point where
add it to the list.
Yeah, I need to get myself familiar with how long service leave works because I'm not going to lie, I don't fucking know right now.
Yeah.
I should know, but I don't.
Yeah, cool. We'll add it to the list, yeah.
Yeah, just add it, put it on the pile.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
I'll get there.
But that, I mean, I suppose that's a credit to you and Alex. Like, I don't think, I would imagine that most people don't take a leap unless, in a circumstance like that, unless they see something building or they see that you guys are genuine.
I guess so, yeah. Maybe. Like again, I can't. I think that
you can't speak for him, but that would be my assumption because I know that I would speak for myself in saying that I probably wouldn't be prepared to take a leap like that unless I saw something genuine in someone, not just like something big like it wouldn't be about money. It would be about, do I trust them?
Yeah, I guess so. I think I like to think we're pretty trustworthy people. I don't know. I guess maybe one of the other things is like, you know, we're pretty ride or die. Like you could tell how much fucking work we were putting in, how much time we were putting in, how kind of crazy we were about it.
Yeah.
How crazy we are about it, you know, still at, you know, kind of at my age, I'm still, you know, putting in time. Because, you know, like it's fundamentally, I don't know. I think I enjoy it. I think.
Totally.
I think, I don't know, maybe I'm just batshit crazy. I don't know.
And the thing is though, like, you know, at your age, even though you've been doing it for this long, like, still fucking hella young, still a long way to go, like still a lot to be done.
Totally. There's still heaps to be done.
Yeah.
There's plenty to be done.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
I really want to, you know, put us on the map, you know, like this is the brand of Melbourne, you know, this is the OG brand of Melbourne.
Well, let's talk about that because I think that's the crux of like why I'm here and why I think our journeys have crossed, our paths have crossed because of, it seems like ICHPIG, I didn't even know that it existed until the last couple of months, right? I see it popping up everywhere with David from Under Shelter, doing the collaborations there. Obviously, Uzi, you know, he's always rocking your stuff, talking nothing, but, you know, some stuff to do with some venues, hip-hop venues specifically. Yeah. Some collaborations there. The Snowy Badman stuff. Like there's all these like kind of collaborations and like, you know, journeys into Melbourne subcultures that have brought me here. Has that been a recent thing?
In terms of like being involved in subcultures, like this brand is the crossroad and the amalgamation of a lot of different cultures. It's street culture, you know, like
Yep.
I grew up skating and I still skate, you know, like these are all my boards. Like all of them are mine.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, every single one of them is mine. You can always tell.
Yeah, fucking oath. That's dope.
You can always look for the snap ones.
Yeah, that's dope.
And,
Okay.
you know, like, so it's not, it's authentic, you know, like you know, people come down here and shoot hoops and,
Yeah.
you know, I'm playing ones with them, you know.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You can ask Will, you know, Dave's offsider Will, that he owns Under Shelter with, that he partners with.
I've never met Will.
Anyway, Will get some buckets from me from time to time.
Right, okay.
He gives me a few buckets, but I definitely give him his share as well.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like, you know, we grew up snowboarding and basketball and skateboarding and Alex is, you know, did fine arts. So, you know, we're into kind of graph culture a little bit. And,
Yeah.
you know, not that we're writers, but, you know, we understand letterform and stuff like that. And,
Yeah.
you know, now sewing and all that shit.
Yeah.
So it's like we're an amalgamation of all these different things, and all these different subcultures have always been around the brand. It's just, I guess the funniest, the weirdest thing about us is, well, it's a strength and a weakness at the same time. There's a couple of things like that with us. There's a couple of things that are just core strengths of ours, but also core weaknesses.
Mm.
And that's when we started this thing in 2010, like I said, there was nothing. There was not all these brands popping off, doing these collabs and all this shit you see, like all this, you know, cross promo stuff and hype this and hype that. Nothing was here. We were the only ones. And that meant there was no blueprint. There was no answers. There was nothing. It was just, got a problem? All right, solve it.
Yep.
You know, like I was saying, our currency was time. So we put the currency into solving those problems just day by day by day by day. And what that did was it made us super, super we just needed ourselves. We didn't need anything.
Self-reliant. Yeah, cool.
We were self-reliant. We were sustainable ourselves.
Yeah, yeah.
And so we just built this thing just off grinding, off just doing it ourselves and working hard and taking little bits here by here. And then what happened, I don't know, I guess as we kind of got to this space and started setting up this place a little bit, you know, over the last couple of years, we were kind of like, wow, you know, we've kind of gotten to this spot where there's not many people like us.
Yep.
Maybe we should start, you know, sharing our experiences and inviting people into the space. And it's kind of like we spent all this time doing it ourselves. We kind of had blinkers on. We kind of like if I'm being honest, you know, we were maybe sitting at home waiting for the hot girl to come knock on our door.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen.
Yeah.
And it was like, and it's like, I just feel like at this point too, it's like we've had so much support over such a long time that it's time to kind of start reinvesting and I don't know, giving back somehow, or I hate that term, like giving back, like I'm some pharaoh giving back to the poor peasants of the streets of Egypt. It's not. It's not like that.
Throwing us some crumbs. We appreciate it.
Here we go. You know.
Yeah.
Here's your chicken feed. Whatever.
Yeah.
Right? It's not like that. It's like, I don't know. Just kind of getting around communities and people that we rate, and like I was saying, you know, being able to contribute to getting Hamid to skate the Mackay comp.
Yep.
That's fucking sick.
Yeah.
It's so sick. Like I want to try and help him as much as I can, or you know, reconnecting with Uzi, because you know we crossed paths with Uzi like years ago.
Yeah.
Years and years ago, and it's just like it's crazy. It's crazy how, you know, now as a mature man, I guess.
Yep.
You know, like I have a son and shit. So like I'm kind of doing something.
Yeah.
We're still relevant. We're still here. We're still kind of, you know, and it's about trying to reconnect with people, I guess.
Totally.
Not just like, I don't know, somehow you got to keep staying relevant.
I haven't been privy to the whole journey and, you know, getting to see the different iterations and the different moments. But if I had to say something about right now, I would say that ICHPIG is very culturally relevant. And I would say like just from a, I guess, outsider's perspective, you know, there is a lot of that crossing over of those subcultures, hip hop, skating, snowboarding. And it looks cool. It looks fucking cool. Like there's no other way to say it. Like I like it. And you know, the fact that you got the blinkers off now to a certain extent.
Yeah, definitely trying to be more spatially aware of our surroundings. And trying to, I guess, I don't know, just connect with other people in the community, in these, you know, heads of these kind of subcultures that, you know, I love.
Yeah, and it's all natural as well. It's all people that like they're not like brand collaborations, so to speak. They're like just people who are like us.
Yeah, it's like, you know, getting people in here that, are like us, that think the same way, or they're on the come up, or maybe they're not on the come up, maybe they're already there. I don't know.
Yeah,
just kind of, you know, doing the best we can to connect with different types of people, and maybe using our platform to help them. Kind of, I don't know, spread their message further as well.
Has it been something that has been talked about, or do you feel like it's just kind of happened naturally as part of your businesses and your personal journey has kind of evolved?
I think it's something that, like, if I'm being honest, I've actively thought about. I just thought,
cool.
I thought, like, I don't know what, I just kind of thought, what we're doing here is so unique, you know, like, this business is built on fair, you know, like, it's like we're making things in Australia. The whole thing's not built on exploitation, basically. I mean, not to kind of go down that political path, but, you know, like, we decided.
Say it.
I don't, because I don't want to diss people that have their businesses set up a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's you know, like I said before, you know, that's one of the other, you know, our ability to do things ourselves has been a massive strength, but it's also been a massive weakness, because sometimes you don't ask for help when you should have, or you haven't connected with someone when you should have.
That's a good point.
We've missed a lot of opportunities that were opportunities because we were just so focused and on our own selves.
Yeah.
And kind of, you know, doing whatever it took to keep this thing going, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. We were, you know, maybe we're a bit stubborn, a bit hubris, blah, blah, blah.
Just to go back to that point though, like, I don't think that's, so it depends obviously what words you would use.
Yeah, totally.
But it's not dissing anyone. It's reaffirming your core values and your core beliefs.
Yeah, like our core values is that this thing is built off paying people what you and I would work for.
Yeah.
That's the gist of it, you know?
Yeah.
We're not asking, well, sorry, let me rephrase that. We're trying a little as humanly possible to ask people to work for wages that we would not work for ourselves.
Yep.
It's that simple.
Yep.
Like, people always question the cost of our garments, or, you know, at the start there, and I'd say, well, what do you do for work? And they say, even if they say, I work at Macca's. Okay, how much do you get paid at Macca's? Do you get paid $22 an hour, $25 an hour? Yeah. Well, these people that make your shoes or make your clothes don't get paid that. They get paid $2 a day.
Yeah.
You know, like, they're forced to live at factories, or forced overtimes, or all kinds of shit. Like, again, like, I'm not just going to sit here slandering it, but, you know, like, that is the case, is that our biggest advantage is that we're Australian made, and people really like that. They fuck with it. But at the same time, it's also our biggest disadvantage, because, you know, basic things like our cost of goods is just through the roof.
Yeah, totally.
Like, what it costs us to produce a jumper, another company produces 6 jumpers.
Yeah, okay. Yep.
You know what I mean? It's just like, there's more capital, there's more time, there's more resources, there's just more on the line for us.
Do you feel like this just came to my head now? Do you feel like that concept of like needing to charge more because the cost of goods is so much higher, right? Like, maintaining that value and that core belief of fair, right? And the flow-on effect is you have to sell things for higher. Do you think it actually adds a lot more value to that jumper, for example, or that hat being ICHPIG because of the cultural relevance?
I like to think so. Like, I like to think that people are definitely getting a bit more cluey about, Australian owned and Australian made and stuff. But I must admit, I think a lot of people are still kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Maybe they're a little bit kind of confused as to the difference. Australian owned does not necessarily mean Australian made.
Okay.
There is a clear exclusion line there that a lot of people get. They think, I'm backing this Australian brand, but, really, yeah, sure. But like a large chunk of those profits go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Because fundamentally the shit's not made here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And, it contributes to, other things like, ethical sustainability and like treating people fairly and whatnot. And also just, environmental sustainability, like shipping shit around the globe produces a lot of emissions, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Making stuff here locally cuts out so much of the sitting on the boat.
Yeah, for sure.
Concept.
Yep.
But yeah, like, that's one thing about us is that, and that's why I think we have so much potential, is that when you buy from us, you are truly buying something that's Melbourne.
Yeah.
We are truly the culture.
I love that.
In a way, like there's a lot of other brands around doing cool shit.
Yeah.
But they're not making it here. Flat out. They're just not. And, and that therefore I feel like, I don't know, maybe this is my bias, but I can't understand how. Yeah, I mean, in my mind, it makes us more truly local than them, or not. Not that it's a competition, but it's like I don't know. I feel like, yeah, we're yeah. I'm trying to think of a way to say this. It's like I feel like we rep the city. We rep the culture. We've been around for a long time.
Yeah.
We make shit here still. We've had so many opportunities to take this offshore and make more fucking money.
Yeah.
Daily it happens.
Yeah.
Right now I could
show you. As you said to the Instagram.
I could show you right now. There's requests sitting there right now.
Yep.
That we get them every day.
Mm.
Hey sir, we are manufacturer. We want to make clothes. Like
yeah.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
There's a lot of those kind of messages with the, like they all say the same. They all start the same.
Mm.
They all have the same kind of format, and it's like we haven't taken that opportunity because we don't think it's the right thing to do.
And also like just going back to the slow burn. If you build it the right way, it'll last longer. And I think that falls into it. Like
I think so. I hope so. I don't know. Like I said, like it makes things more challenging because fundamentally per garment, we're just not making as much as other people are.
Yep.
We're just not. Like it's like it's simple. Like if you go to a store and our stuff's on the shelves at one price and you see another brand at another price, that price is getting pretty close.
Yeah.
Like if we're on the rack at 170 and the other brand's at 150, 140, like that's pretty close to us considering, I just told you, like I know their cogs are just so much lower than ours.
Yeah.
Like it's challenging. And like I want us, the one thing I pride with us is we are truly authentic.
Yeah, totally. And that's the thing, you're not buying. So when you buy an ICHPIG piece, you are buying a story as well.
Yeah, you're buying a story. You're buying a moment in the brand too, because we don't restock stuff a lot.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, most pieces we don't restock. There's only a couple of things that we restock,
like some core items.
Yeah, there's literally 3 hoodies that are core, but everything else is one time release. That's kind of it.
Yeah.
So you're buying a piece of the brand, but also you're buying a piece of Melbourne of true Melbourne culture in my mind. Like every aspect of the garment is here. Whether that's having in most cases our fabrics are spun here. And again, like some of them aren't, but that's just because there's no industry. If there was, we'd do it.
Yep, absolutely.
We'd find a way. Like like this jacket I'm wearing, for instance, like it costs us so much money to make this thing, but the option was there, so we took it and we did it just to flex and show that you can do it. We make pretty much no money on it, but we did it because we can. Yeah, and we want to, and we believe in it. Yeah, I guess that's kind of us in a nutshell.
No, I love that, and not backing down from it, and just being happy to wear your bruises because you know that it's you and it's what you believe.
Yeah, it's what we believe. You know, like I said, we could have gotten to. I don't. Well, that's shoulda, coulda, woulda. But you know, I'd have to think if we weren't manufacturing here in Australia, we maybe would have gotten 4 or 5 times bigger than what we are now.
Yeah.
Just because there would have been more money coming in.
Totally.
It's that simple.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy to think about.
Yeah, it's crazy that I don't know. I feel like a lot of people talk about sustainability and ethics and all that stuff, but when the gun's at their head, they blink. But I'd like to think, you know, that we're an example of we've had so many dollars and so many things thrown at us and we haven't blinked. We stuck to our laurels. That's what I like about us. That's what helps me sleep at night.
I mean, and at the end of the day, you're the one who has to spend your life with you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
no one else is going to be in your head. No one else is going to have those internal conversations. So
nah, not really.
As long as you're happy with it, that's all that matters.
Yeah, and it comes back to what we're talking about at the start. You know, like you've got to be happy with what you're doing and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, it is, and like some people don't even give a shit about what I just said, right? They don't care. They don't give a stuff.
Yeah.
You know, they're money focused or they're whatever. Everyone's got their own prerogative and their own biases and all that kind of stuff. I don't know.
Let them do their thing.
Yeah, let them do their thing, and I don't know. It's one of those things. It's challenging. It's like that whole thing about, you know, some people look at the black thing and say it's black. Some people look at the white thing and say it's white. You know, whatever. We wanted to make something that was truly originally authentic of Australia and Melbourne, and that's what we're doing.
Done.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that brings me to, I mean, I guess you've kind of answered it, but I would like to potentially get you to expand on it. Is something that I kind of want to finish off with, and this idea of success. And I know that, you know, we've touched on a lot of the things here, the warehouse, like the brand, the subcultures, sticking to your guns, not blinking. But let's just say, let's cast our imagination to the end of this journey, right? The end of your life.
Yeah.
What does success look like to you? Not just for ICHPIG, but for you as a person, you as a family man.
I guess you could break them out into different goals. You know, like, you know, as a family man, you know, being a supportive partner, and also, you know, like, I guess raising my son as an open, aware, and conscious person is success to me.
I like those words.
You know, like not being so quick to judge. Like that's something I've really worked on, is not being so quick to judge. Like in my early life, I was pretty judgmental, pretty blunt, pretty quick to, you know what I mean? Like just put connotations and labels on things.
Yep.
Which I've now realized is maybe, you know, kind of hurtful to some people and not the best thing.
Yep.
So that's that. I mean, you know, again, as a partner, you know, be supportive and listen, take on board, you know, don't feel the world doesn't just revolve around you. And then as a business owner, I guess like truly putting Australia on the map, but like authentically Australia, you know what I mean? Like every representation of it in the world, like this is 100% Australian produced and people, it's globally recognized. That'd be sick. It's going to be tough. Don't get me wrong, because of, you know, all the things that I've outlined. Our biggest strength is also our biggest weakness, like I was saying. So that's going to be a challenge, but yeah, that'd be super sick.
So much sweeter if you overcome it as well.
Yeah, because I mean, we're basically, if we do it, we'll be the only brand that's ever done it.
Yeah.
I can't think of a brand that's produced. Well, I mean, sorry, there's brands here that produce here and that are doing it, but I guess in our field, maybe not so much. Streetwear is a pretty ruthless game.
Tough cookie to crack.
Yeah.
So always was produced in Australia and always will be.
Yeah, that kind of vibe. You know, no matter how big we get, you know, like I always want some part of this brand produced here in Australia, whether that's a heritage line or whether that's everything. I don't know. I don't have those answers right now.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I can't speak to things that haven't quite happened yet.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, that's what we're working towards is, you know, yeah, making this the brand of Australia.
Yeah. But you're letting that, you're letting those core principles guide you. You're letting that, you know, that connection to the subculture, like kind of add value to you and your story and yeah, wherever it may take you.
Totally. You know, like our kind of statement, our slogan is, you know, driven by independence, bound by community. So
say that again. Driven by independence,
bound by community. Yeah.
I love that.
So, you know, like we're independent. We funded this our own way. We thought about this our own way. You know, the fact that we didn't say, oh, we have to go to China like everyone else. No, we can make it here. Or Bangladesh or Thailand, whatever, right? No, we can make it here. If we want to do it, we can do it. And we're doing it. It's crazy. It's crazy that we're doing it. People are always so shocked when I say it. They go, what? You make here? Like, wow, that must be really hard.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, it's a lot of work.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
It's a lot of work. Because, you know, you basically you don't make as much money per garment. And what that means is you have to kind of cut down on things like human resources, right? You can't have as many staff. So that what does that mean? Doesn't mean those jobs magically disappear. It just means you have to do them. Instead of wearing 2 hats, you wear 4 or 5.
18.
18, yeah. Or 18.
Well, I think that this is one juice that is certainly worth the squeeze.
Definitely.
And Nate, I'm going to say thank you
No worries.
for letting me come in here and get to look at this juice and spend some time in it.
No worries.
And yeah, man, I look forward to seeing it continue to get squeezed.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for coming through.
Yeah, thank you for coming on Slaaap Haaapy, Nate. This has been Slaaap Haaapy. I've just had Nate from ICHPIG and we're going to sign it off, guys. Everyone stay slapping out there and I'll see you around.
Peace.
We can do it like this all day, hey, don't stop. Inhibitions run away, hey, don't stop. Let a bug hit windshield, scrape those off. My team running up big.